Are a Republican candidate for president and your name is not Donald Trump, what do you do about Donald Trump? The guy's second in most polls right now, but his comments about Mexican immigrants have led to a firestorm of controversy.
Now here's how some of the other GOP presidential candidates have reacted to those comments so far.
I don't think Donald Trump's remarks reflect the Republican Party.
The comments were inappropriate and they have no place in the race.
I don't agree with it.
When you label a group of people as rapists and drug dealers, that's more about you than it is them.
So is that forceful enough? What should the GOP presidential candidates do about the Trump factor? Let's talk with CNN political commentator and conservative radio talk show host Ben Ferguson. Ben, thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here.
Of course, I know that you're not a fan of the Trump factor, and it seems clear that the other Republican candidates, they don't support the comments that he's making, but it seems by and large their first inclination is to simply try to ignore him. Is that a good strategy for them? Doesn't that come with risk?
It was a united strategy early on. I mean, almost all the campaigns I talked to, they were pretty much saying, this is a guy we're just going to let flame out, and we're just going to let Donald be Donald. We're not going to acknowledge him. We're not going to give him credibility or even give credence to any of the comments that he's making. That obviously, that strategy for all of the other GOP candidates has not worked well, and Donald understands how to get media attention, whether it be playing the victim card because Macy's got rid of him or The Apprentice and NBC. He understands how to steal headlines. So now I think the candidates are realizing we're going to have to, one, denounce him, and two, you're going to see a lot of the campaigns, I think, really look at his record, go after him and attack him. He's got a lot of dirty laundry, and not only that, but he also has given a lot of money to Democratic candidates, including Hillary Clinton, and you're going to see, I think, this campaign roll out to really bring down Donald Trump so they don't have to deal with him for much longer.
You really think that these candidates want to get, in a shouting match or a spitting match, you can use other words if you want, with Donald Trump?
No, they don't. But I think what you're going to see is you're going to see the campaigns start to put information out there. They're going to start to make, I think, these statements that are making it abundantly clear. We don't think that he's even should be on the stage with us, and we don't think he's a conservative, and we don't think he's a legitimate candidate. And they're going to have to start attacking him to bring these numbers back down. I mean, if there's anything that we can learn from Donald Trump is he has filled a void for other candidates to be bold, and that's why I think he's doing so well. He is being blunt, and some of the things that he's saying people do like, but ultimately a lot of the other candidates have not taken big risks yet, mainly because it's very early on. They're focused on campaigning in the primary states and raising money and not, having these big oopses in public right now. It's not worth that risk.
It seems conventional wisdom on the Republican side is that Donald Trump out there right now is bad for the Republican Party. Is there any kind of argument to make that Donald Trump could be good for the Republican Party? The fact that maybe him being in this race and flaming out at least removes him the kingmaker quality that he's had in recent elections, or allows Republicans to draw some sort of distinction with someone when they're on the debate stage, because that's always the biggest problem. A lot of their ideas are generally too similar to make a distinction.
Well, I think what you're going to see is Donald Trump is someone that they all look at as someone that really should not be taken as seriously as some are making it out to be. It may give some of these guys a chance to actually make a name for themselves if they do take him on, those that are polling lower. But ultimately, I think if you ask every GOP candidate that's in this race right now, none of them like Donald Trump. None of them want him in this, and none of them really want to be sparring with him. They'd rather spar with one another because they look at each other as more of a legitimate candidate than Donald Trump is. He's not going to be the president. His unfavorability is almost as high as his favorability. Either you love him or you hate him, but ultimately, for the other candidates, they just want him out of this race as soon as they can, and certainly outside the top 10 so they don't have to deal with him on stage.
The problem is, Ben, there's no how-to guide here. There's no how to deal with a guy like Donald Trump because there's no guy like
there's no way to push him out
like Donald Trump.
Macy's
fires him, his poll numbers go up. NBC fires him, his poll numbers go up. He says stuff and alienates Mexican immigrants, his poll numbers go up. So it doesn't seem like you can hurt him because he'll just turn it around on you.
Well, and ultimately, wait until people engage him. I think Chris Christie getting into this race is one of those issues where I think it's going to take a lot of wind out of the sail of Donald Trump. Can you imagine Chris Christie and Donald Trump going back and forth? I'll put my money on Chris Christie on that one.
I can only hope we can see that on the debate
Yeah,
stage.
I mean, and that's the thing is, this has been a reality TV show in politics on tour. And Donald Trump knows how to do that and how to be a reality TV guy better than anyone else does. I'll give him credit there. But I think a lot of the campaigns, there was this, I don't know even what we should do with him. How do you even interact with him? How do you sit down and have a legitimate conversation about foreign policy? And I think when voters start to see that, that is when we'll see his numbers come down very quickly, because ultimately, do you want this guy really being in charge of dealing with ISIS or Vladimir Putin or foreign trade or Cuba or any of these other issues? I don't think people are going to like that.
I have to say, the Kardashians are calling you right now. They're upset that you said that that Donald Trump was the best at reality TV.
Yes.
Otherwise,
if I insulted them, I guess that's a perk to the job today, right?
Exactly. Ben, be careful. Be careful, Ben. It's great to see you.
Thanks.
Coming up for us, more.